how to prepare for the next leg of the freight cycle. To talk about that, I'm here with Chris Pickett, Chief Operating Officer at Flock Freight. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Helen.
Chris, can you talk about the inefficiencies in the supply chain today and what we can do about them?
Yeah, you bet. You can't talk about supply chains without mentioning inefficiencies. And I think certainly what we all saw during the 2020 to 21, COVID-induced, mass supply chain disruptions, a lot of those inefficiencies really came to bear in a very bright way. Whether it was
there was nowhere to hide.
Every other day it was the headline in the Wall Street Journal or top story on CNN, whether it's a port congestion or driver shortage or crumbling infrastructure. And we've come to, I think, more broadly acknowledges there's an awful lot of waste in the current supply chain. Mm-hmm. So in this era of wanting to drive efficient use of resources, drive efficient use of labor, protect crumbling, arguably, U.S. infrastructure. How do we do more with less, or how do we do more with the same? And a lot of these inefficiencies bear out of just how fragmented supply chains really are, especially in the United States.
Right.
And to get over those inefficiencies, oftentimes it takes reaching across the aisle, either to customers, vendors across the ecosystem, to identify root causes and work together to address them.
Right. So there's a lot falling through the cracks, metaphorically and physically at the moment.
Absolutely a lot falling through the cracks.
Right. So, Chris, can you talk a little bit about the truckload freight market at the moment and where it's at and how it needs to change?
Yeah, you bet. Recall the topic of this conversation is around preparing yourself for the next leg of the cycle. And so I think we first acknowledge that, one, there is a cycle.
Right.
And this freight cycle, like many cycles.
And we're talking about shippers versus carriers.
Right? So freight rates going up or down based on, like many markets, the balance of supply and demand. And what happens in the U.S. freight cycle because of this fragmentation, when market rates are high, that invites more supply into the market. Eventually too much supply comes in, because as irrational human beings, we always overdo it.
Right.
And that was really the what happened in 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
COVID hit, massive supply chain disruptions, a run on goods consumption, created very attractive market conditions for asset-based trucking companies.
And rates went up.
Rates went up, new capacity comes in, and right now we're dealing with the reckoning.
Yeah.
So this is the inescapable reckoning and rebalancing that has to occur, where too much capacity came in relative to demand, rates falling through the floor, and the market is now trying to find a clearing level where enough oversupply, enough excess carriers and truck drivers exit the market, put a bottom in the market, and prepare us for the next inflationary leg.
So if we make the cycle more efficient, are we just going to make it go faster, or are we going to start to reduce the fluctuations between peak and trough?
I think our perspective at Flock Freight is we don't think this volatility is healthy. We don't think there's anything healthy about a boom and bust cycle.
Yeah.
There's nothing pleasant about drivers having to exit the market because they can't make money.
Sure.
So we believe that allowing trading partners to better collaborate, and I think part of what exasperates the volatility of the cycles that exist today is there's just a lot of waste in the marketplace. Think about the truckload cycle. We observed that 30 to 35% of truckload capacity out in the market today is wasted.
Wow.
Shippers are effectively paying to ship air.
Yeah, sure.
They don't need the whole truck, and there's no effective way to source capacity relative to the
back
actual needs
as well, right?
And so the technology platform we're building at Flock to really scale shared truckload and allow shippers to only buy the portion of the truck they actually need, we think can go a long way around dampening that volatility, making better use of the resources we have in the market today, and you reduce some of these negative tendencies for markets to overreact.
So what would that look like? Would it look like fewer trucks on the road?
That's exactly what it would look like.
Yeah.
So you think about, if we have 30% waste capacity, 30% shipping air, you could increase GDP by 30%, not add a single truck to the road. And so what we hope that, during the next cycle as this repeats, which it's going to, and we expect, 2024 to be a bit of a repeat of 2021, that, we can be part of a force to help rationalize the truckload market at least. So again, as we come back, that shippers can get access, capacity more efficiently, allow those drivers to make more money by seeing better utilization of their loaded trailers, take trucks off the road, which will be great for the environment.
Right. And there's also inefficiency in the form of truckers having to hang out at a dock for hours while they're waiting to unload, because that whole system hasn't been efficient.
Yeah, so it's not just wasted space, it's wasted time. And that also makes the problem more challenging, where drivers get paid by the loaded mile. And then if a driver is sitting there idle, that's eating up operating hours, that's eating into potential earnings.
They don't get paid.
And we see really incredible opportunities coming along with enabling technologies around machine learning or artificial intelligence. If as a network, as a marketplace, we can better predict transit times, arrival times, loading times, can we work together not only to make best use of the capacity that we have, but make best use of the time that we have, and keep drivers and inventory moving.
Right, so it's not just about capacity, it's about time.
Precisely.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Chris. Could you tell us a little bit about Flock Freight and what you do?
Yeah, so at Flock, we're building a technology platform to enable shared truckload at scale. And so what that means is, we're finding and filling empty space on trucks. So we allow shippers to buy the portion of the full truckload that they need, nothing more, nothing less. And in doing so, we allow shippers to make better use of the capacity that's out there. So we're filling trunks, which means they're not paying to ship air. So they're saving money. Drivers are achieving higher levels of utilization.
Great.
Right? So drivers are making more money, and we're taking trucks off the road and carbon out of the atmosphere, so the environment wins too.
We like that. So it's a dating service for freight.
Something like that.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks, Helen.
We've been looking at the future of freight with Chris Pickett from Flock Freight. Thank you very much for joining us.